Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to discuss the productivity application, Google Tasks, and how it integrates with other Google applications. As you know, Google Tasks is a productivity and to-do app. And what we're going to do is we're going to select Google Tasks in our workflow. And then we're going to take a look at some of the other applications. For example, Google Tasks integrates with Gmail. It also integrates with Google Sheets. Naturally, there are integrations with Google Calendar. And naturally, we can add a task for new files in Google Drive. And in fact, that is the Zap that we are going to take a closer look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Use this Zap. And as you can see, what this Zap is designed to do is designed to help us to be reminded to take action on files that are uploaded to Google Drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Create this Zap. And the trigger in this case is going to be when a new file is uploaded to Google Drive. We're then going to click Continue. Google Drive is going to ask us to connect a specific account. And then once our Google Drive account is connected, we're then going to click Test. Once we verify that it's working, we're then going to click Save and Continue. We're now going to set up the Google Drive file. And to test, we're going to click Fetch and Continue. Our test is successful. We can then click Continue. So now what we can do is we can create a corresponding task. And we're now going to connect the account to run the task. Once Zapier is connected, we'll then click Test. And then we'll click Save and Continue. Now once we have found our task list, what we're going to do is we're going to write a title. And this title is always going to occur when there's a new file. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to write in a title that we know we're going to use every single time that the drive shows an uploaded file. So once you've written your title, you're then going to click Continue. Zapier will then send a task to Google Tasks, and we will then click Finish. Once our Zap is turned on, we then have our productivity app functioning within the Google system. So what you'll want to do if you are a user of the Google system is to explore different combinations to find those that will give you more automation and more productivity. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we're going to talk about Facebook integrations. And if you type in Facebook into the search bar, you'll notice that you can do integrations with Facebook lead ads, pages, offline conversations, and groups. And in many cases, these integrations will mirror some of the social posting applications that are separate from Zapier. However, you can create other integrations using web apps like GetResponse, Gmail, Reddit, Google Sheets, and WordPress. And of course, in most cases, your business activity will dictate your need for a particular integration. There is at least one action that you can take where Facebook is the trigger. And Facebook can be the trigger for creating text posts on the website Tumblr. So to use this Zap, we're going to click this link. And this Zap automates the process of taking something that you have created in Facebook and shares it on Tumblr. So the trigger is going to be when someone posts to our Facebook timeline. We're then going to click Continue. And then we're going to connect our Facebook account. Zapier will then ask for permission, and we will grant it. And Zapier would like to post to Facebook for us. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. We can choose whether or not to allow Zapier to manage our pages. And once we're fully connected, we can click Save and Continue. We can then test our connection by clicking Fetch and Continue. And Zapier will confirm that our test is then successful. We can then click Continue. We're then going to create a text post on Tumblr. And we're going to connect the account where we want to see our posts. We're then going to give Zapier permission. And once Tumblr is added, we're then going to click the test button. We'll confirm that our test has been complete, and now we'll click Save and Continue. We'll then be required to select the place where we want the post to go. We will then write in our message and then click Continue. We'll send our test to Tumblr, and then we'll click Finish. When we do that, then our Zap is turned on, and then you'll see our post automated from Facebook. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a look at the social media app Instagram. Now, there are a number of auto posting programs that post direct to Instagram based on some activity. However, in Zapier, one of the things that you'll note is that Instagram is actually a trigger on other applications. So if we click the trigger link, you'll see that liking media on Instagram, tagging media on Instagram, posting media, following someone, and then new media by location, all of those activities can trigger actions on other applications. As an example, there are a number of Instagram integrations that have Instagram as the trigger. For example, you can share any Instagram photo to Twitter automatically. You can also save any liked Instagram photos to your Google Drive folders. So as you scroll through the various applications, as a user of Instagram, you can find those processes that you are using between two applications and then automate them through Zapier. So what we're going to do is we're going to save any liked Instagram photos to sorted Google Drive folders. And we're going to click Use this Zap. And Zapier tells us that this is basically to keep track of our favorite photos and then to make sure that we have them archived. So we're going to go ahead and click Create this Zap. We're going to continue past the trigger. And then we're going to connect our Instagram account. We'll then authorize Zapier to use our Instagram account. We'll then test Instagram. Once it is successful, we'll click Save and Continue. We're now going to click Fetch and Continue. Zapier will confirm that our test is successful. We're then going to click Continue. Now we're going to find a specific folder in Google Drive to save our photos. We're going to test our connection and then click Save and Continue. We'll then create a name for our folder and then we'll click Continue. Once we do that, we'll click Fetch and Continue. And then Zapier will confirm that our test is successful. We'll then click Continue. We'll then click Continue through Google Drive. Once again, we'll test our system, confirm success, and then click Save and Continue. We'll then select our folder, and then we'll click Continue. We'll then send the test to Google Drive, and then we'll click Finish. Once we do that, our Zap is then turned on. We'll then see our liked photo inside of the folder that we designated. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we'll look at the business-related social media app LinkedIn. And when you go to the search bar and you write in LinkedIn, and then select LinkedIn, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, what you'll see is that LinkedIn primarily does not have triggers. It's based on actions. So in order to have LinkedIn as part of an automated process, you'll need to trigger an activity with another application. And while many are directly related to other social media applications, there are others with RSS, WordPress, Eventbrite, and MailChimp. And that is not a comprehensive list. So if you were looking primarily to interact with LinkedIn and automate some of the processes because some of the work that you do on that social media site, you can look through the applications to note what you can automate in terms of driving content to LinkedIn. So in this case, we're going to share new Facebook page post to LinkedIn, and we're going to click Use this Zap. And again, basically, this Zap shares all of the posts that you make on a particular page to your LinkedIn newsfeed. So the first thing we're going to do is click Create this Zap. And we're going to set the trigger at Post to the timeline. And we're going to connect an account. Now to do this, we are going to need to allow Zapier to publish as pages. So we're going to click OK. When we get to this page, we're then going to click Test, and we'll get Success, and then we're going to click Save and Continue. What we'll need to do now is pick a specific fan page that we are using. Once we have it, we'll then click Continue. We'll then need to click Fetch and Continue to test our connection. Zapier will confirm our test. We'll then click Continue. And then we'll pick the account where we're going to be sharing an update through our Facebook page. And we'll do that by connecting a LinkedIn account. We'll then need to give Zapier permission to access our account. Once we do that, then our account is connected. We'll then test the connection. Once we get success, we will then click Save and Continue. Zapier will now have our test data ready. We'll then click Continue. And then we'll send the test to LinkedIn. Once we've done that, we'll then click Finish. And then our Zap is turned on. We'll then confirm that that post is now on our newsfeed in LinkedIn. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. We are now going to take a look at the social media app Twitter. And when we first search for Twitter and then select it, you'll notice that there are applications. So we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom first, and you're going to notice that there are 8 different triggers. And that means that there are going to be a number of different ways that we can use Twitter to automate processes. We also have actions, where an activity on one application will mean that we can do something on Twitter as a result of it. So one of the best ways to explore Twitter is to look at any application that you're using publicly to find out if there's a relationship between Twitter and that application using Zapier. For example, just a random search will yield the fact that we can share any MailChimp campaigns on Twitter. Now, because there are a number of social posting applications that will direct activity toward Twitter, we want to focus on those activities where Twitter is the actual trigger. And you'll notice here that there is one trigger that we can use, copying tweets across multiple accounts. And what we're going to do then is use this Zap. And Zapier will tell you the reason for using this particular Zap. If you're managing multiple accounts, rather than tweeting the same thing repeatedly, we can use an automation and have it tweeted across all of our accounts. What we're going to do is we're going to create this Zap. And so the trigger is going to be that someone will start with a tweet. We'll then need to connect the first account. We'll grant Zapier access to our account, and then we'll need to authorize Zapier to use it. So we're now connected to Twitter. If we needed to, we could connect a different account, and we can do that by clicking this button. We're going to go ahead and test. Once Zapier gives us the go-ahead, we're going to click Save and Continue. We're then going to write in the username, and then we'll click Continue. We'll confirm that this has been successful, and then we'll click Continue. We'll now create the action for the second account. And to do that, we're going to need to connect a different Twitter account. Once we've connected that second account, we'll click Save and Continue. Once we do that, we'll then click Continue once we verify that the message is Good to send. We'll then send the test to Twitter. We should then have a test tweet, and we'll then click Finish. And then our Zap is officially turned on. We can then verify that the tweet is done in the new account. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.